had an 8.5-year really bad habit. He was really deep into the Mexican mafia, and we were doing like a quarter ounce every 3 days.
So, here we go.
Just brought it to me.
Are you, how'd you get down here homeless? Are you addicted to any drugs?
Okay, so here's the story. So he and I, like, he pretty much set me up, like, he had some heroin that night, and like, I have bouts with, since I was 21, on and off with heroin, but I've cleaned up like 8 years, 9 years, and I raised my son, and I was sober then, you know, and all that. And my son's now 26. And so upon 2021, I was like, this relationship is totally toxic. I've got to get out of it. So I said, I'm going to rehab, and if you want to go, you can come with. But I'm to the point where I'm no longer taking care of myself because I'm so like immersed in this sick relationship. And I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I left and went on my own and got rehab. But first, I went to a mental hospital because I was real suicidal. I put my, like, everything, I forgot about my family. I did everything became about him and his life and his family. And I thought he was dying, you know, and so yet he continued to shoot heroin, you know. And then at one point, like 3 years in, he's like, I think the heroin is helping me stay alive. Blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, he does not have congestive heart failure. He had a mild heart attack at one time, and he was manipulating me from jump. Well, so anyway, so I went to 4 different rehabs and 6 different mental hospitals between Dallas and Austin, and while he played mind games. And what I mean by mind games is like, apparently him and a female named Candace and a man named Casey were, as well as numerous others in the town of Wimberley, Texas, were all in it. I had confided my whole life with him because I thought we were going to be together till we died. And I told him everything, you know, everything. And he aired it through a speaker all over the town, and then he aired it all over Syndicate Networks and turned it into a movie and made like a joke out of me and made me look really ridiculous.
He was a movie producer?
The other one is Casey, but he shared it to Casey.
What's the movie called?
Okay, one I think is called Fantasy Island. I don't know what the other one is called. Here's the thing. I have physically never seen anything except for excerpts of the movie. I was at the domestic women's shelter, and I would hear the women, you know, since 2021, I'll hear people like, Jody, go back to Brian, like people speaking in Spanish, Indian, Pakistani. He did it worldwide. And
wow. So he made this movie about you.
Yeah, but he really made it like bad, you know. He made it like.
And so you had to come back here. You had to get out
I thought like the girl Candace, she like they were telling me things like they were watching me through, I guess, a camera or something. First thing that happened was I heard a male voice when I got out of the shower one day, and I had a mental meltdown because I knew then that someone was watching me. And so I went on like this horrendous, like, just violent, not violent, but disgusting display of negative, dirty words, and called him every dirty name in the book, and his family too, for, you know, doing this to me, because I felt really violated. And I didn't confront him because every time I did confront him, he would say, prove it. And then he told me at one point, if you bring this topic up one more time, you're out on your ass. Don't ask any questions. So I was like, and I'm in a really rural area. I have no car. I sold my RV because he said it was an eyesore on the property like a month after I got there. People say that, like, some good friends of mine and his say that, like, he had it all planned from the day I walked in. That was his goal, was to manipulate me and to, you know.
Gosh, I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah, so...
Let's try to shift gears and talk about your life here.
So I got here in November.
Well, what's your name?
I'm sorry. Do I have to use my real name?
What do you want to go by?
Michelle.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. And Your home? Do you live down here where we found you?
Yeah,
Under the bridge here?
I didn't originally. Yeah,
But now you do?
Yeah.
And do you have like a tent?
Yeah, but it's filled with a bunch of stuff because it's not really mine. So where you saw me, like by the bed,
yeah,
that's where I am. That's why they were able to hurt me the other night, hit me with something in my sleep.
And are you addicted to any drugs right now?
No, I use occasionally, mainly because of the stress.
What do you use?
Meth, and I do like I do what you call like a what do you call it? A rinse every now and then, but not 3 days in
of what, heroin?
Yeah.
So, like you rinse it off of the spoon and inject
Well,
like the rest of somebody else's?
Well, no, like you always cook your heroin down with water.
Right.
So I just take somebody else's shot and then I add a little water to it and I'll do a little, and and I don't do it 3 days in a row because that's when you become on the hook. And I had an 8.5 year really bad habit. He was really deep into the Mexican mafia, and we were doing like a quarter ounce every 3 days.
Holy smokes!
Of tar heroin.
Black tar heroin.
Yeah.
What? Where do you shoot up?
Can't even hit myself. So
somebody else does it for you?
So like in my hands, because there in Texas you just IM it, intermuscular. So I'm very inexperienced. It's just prefer to smoke it actually if I'm going to do anything, because that way I don't OD. And I used to want to OD, but even though my life is so hard right now, I still I want to get past all this. And my parents have been terrorized. My whole family's been terrorized by these people. And, because obviously I shared the intimate details about my family life and everything. And he aired it over, first he aired it over the town, and then he downloaded it with Casey, and then they played it as a movie. And then they called my mom and dad. My dad has dementia, and just harassed them and everything.
That's not nice.
And I call my mom a prostitute. She's 78 years old, and it's just horrible.
I'm sorry.
It's horrible. And so now we have an estranged relationship because my mom's like, how did you not see all the signs,
She's mad at you.
Oh, she's pissed.
I just noticed that you have some blood on your chest. What happened to you?
Oh, it's a pimple that I've been scratching all day because I'm nervous. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you said that the meth helps with your nervousness?
No, it quiets the sound down. In the broadband, that's how they're airing it. I figured that out through the broadband because there's no FCC. Well, and all the audio. Yeah, there's no FCC regulations. So
if you use meth, you don't hear.
Not as loud, but it's still there. Yeah, because they've kicked it up a notch.
They want everybody to hear it.
And they're trying to drive me crazy. Or they say every day, why don't you just go and kill yourself? Every day,
I'm glad that
all day.
I'm glad that you're still here.
Yeah, I'm barely.
So, were you suntanning out there? You were in a bathing suit when I saw you.
No, see, I got bit by a brown recluse or something the other day. So it burst last night in my sleep, and so we packed it today. And so last night I changed into a bathing suit because it got all over my sleeping clothes, and that's why I pulled all the sheets off my bed, because I have to put clean sheets on my bed and everything and make sure that it's all as sanitary as possible out here.
Yeah, probably kind of hard to do that.
Pretty hard, yeah. But
how do you get around to take showers?
I don't right now unless I go to the rebuild center, but it's kind of hard for me with my walker. It used to be I used to be at the domestic women's shelter on Ursuline because, here's a clincher. So I was living out in New Orleans East January, February, and March, and I heard this dude that I was with, he asked me to be in charge of his SSI check because he knows I'm honest and he has no responsibility towards his money. So he was like, look, we can hang out, I'll be your protection, and you just disperse my money to me monthly in a timely manner. And I was like, okay, that works. So we rented a room. And then I can't tell somebody they can't have access to their money. I'm sorry. It's just not who I am. So he would be like, can I have $100? Can I have $100? So I kept giving it to him. Well, meanwhile, back at the ranch, he was smoking $1,400 worth of crack in a month. And I found out about it, and I was like, this isn't going to work. We're not even in a relationship, and you're autistic, and this is... I feel weird. Like, even if we're intimate, I feel weird, you know. I feel like almost predatorial. And so I hear Casey talking to him through his phone. And I said, listen to me, MF. I said, you better not be listening to anything those fools in Texas say. I said, because all of it is lies and propaganda. I promise you that. And 2 nights later, I let him stay at the house because there was a tag on it that said they were going to kill him because he was $1,800 in debt for crack out at the Willows. And I told him he could come back to the room and stay and sleep on the floor until I could figure out what else I could do for his safety. And I woke up and he was raping me in my sleep and wouldn't get off of me, like with his fist. And so I left immediately when the sun came up and went to the hospital and filed a report and all that. And first time I've ever done anything like that. And so they sent me to the women's shelter, and it was the greatest experience I've ever had. But I was there for 45 days, and my time came up, and so I'm just waiting for housing.
Okay. What do you do for food?
They bring it to us. Yeah.
What about money? How do you make money?
I don't make money. I really, right now, I sold a phone. So I sold the phone to this guy who's broke as hell. I sold him a cracked Sky phone. I asked him to buy me a pack of cigarettes. You know, so.
What, I would imagine that there's some pretty terrible things that happen to people out here.
Yeah, pretty much I'm the worst. Everything that happens to me is pretty much the worst.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you out here?
Like just getting my legs smacked open, you know. Of course the girls,
car, right?
Yeah, of course the girls that were shot down here before I got here.
What happened?
There were, I think, 3 or 4 girls that were gunned down. I think it was around January or February, and they were gunned down here.
There's a lot of people that live down here. Do you see a little bit of everything? Drug use, drug sales?
Yeah.
Do you see prostitution?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, like I said, I'm 54. I'm back in the day, I used to manage Checkpoint Charlie's. I was the first bartender to work the graveyard shift at the Abbey. I used to wait tables at Fiorella's Cafe, at Buffa's. I used to work at Jack's Brewery in the jewelry department. I had my own stand at Chimera Jewelry in the French Market. So I made my own jewelry. I've used to bartend at a juke joint down in the Warehouse District. I bartended uptown at a jazz club when my grandmother was still alive. So like my people were all from here. It's just that my mom's people are all on the North Shore and always have been. But my dad's people, which are all gone now, they were here in New Orleans forever and a decade. My mom went to Fort Jay and my dad went to McDonough. You know, I mean, I was here my whole life.
When's the last time you did some drugs?
Let's see. I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday? You did some meth?
Yeah.
You still high?
No.
A little bit? No, not at all?
It doesn't really affect me. Yeah.
So we like to ask everybody, if you could wave a magic wand and go to your dream life, what would that look like?
To look like it did before I met those people in Texas.
Just to be happy and not hearing the
them not doing that to me and destroying my relationships and my jobs. They came down here and they, you know, infiltrated and they told people lies about me and they told people truths about me. I've made mistakes. I'm not going to lie about it. You know, I when I was in my 30s, I worked in an escort service on the Gulf Coast, you know, to help raise my son, you know. I was competing with his dad, who made like $150,000 a year as a casino dealer. And, you know, I made some mistakes, but I paid for them. And when I went to prison and I got out, I made a promise to God that, you know, I wouldn't do those things anymore, and I haven't. And
did you work for the escort service in Texas?
No.
Was that here?
No, it was in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
And then you went to prison and got out, and you told God that you would never do those things again.
Yeah, well, I was in prison. Yeah.
One time in prison?
Yeah.
Well, for what?
Possession of under $20 worth of methamphetamine. Yeah, they made an example of me, is what the judge said. I missed my sentencing date, so it really made him mad. and I had gone to like all my dates. I'd gone to my charge partner's dates, but my phone broke, my car broke down. I wound up in Shreveport. I couldn't get out, and so I went I was on my way back. I was in Bay St. Louis, and I was like, okay, tomorrow, because it was Sunday, and I was like, tomorrow I'm going to go see Judge Clark and talk to him. And the U.S. Marshal showed up, and they were like, oh, hey, guess what? We're going to bring you early. So, but it was, it was a really it was a hard experience, but it was a good experience. I mean, it taught me some life lessons. It taught me that I'm stronger than I thought I was. This stuff has definitely taught me that I was stronger than I thought I was.
What do you mean, being out here?
Just handling all of this.
Everything that's happening to you.
Yeah.
So if you could give a message out there, because a lot of people are going to watch this, and so what would your message be to people out there?
Be very careful of trusting people who you date and who you get with in sharing personal information. Make sure that all your passwords are very secure. Don't share devices with anyone, and the heroin might take away the hurt for a little while, but eventually it still hurts. It still hurts.
It still hurts, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think that you can ever get the pain to go away?
Absolutely. I just have to get out. Like when I was at the domestic violence shelter, I was doing really good. I was making good, positive choices. I was going to therapy. I was painting and writing in my journals and doing the right thing. I just have to be around the right. I'm very influenced, easily influenced. And I mean, there's literally, I don't think there's a soul out here that is sober, So it's really hard to find someone to surround yourself with,
Well, we're rooting for you, and I hope that you can do it, and I believe in you, and I would love to see you find your way and be happy.
Yeah, I'm working with the mayor's office, and Mr. Hold on, tall guy. I'm going to forget his name. It's not Forrest. He's Mayor Cantrell's right-hand man.
Mayor of New Orleans?
Yeah. He found me out here and was like, about a month and a half ago, and he was like, there is no reason you should be out here. He was like, I'm going to make sure that we get you out of here ASAP. So then his assistant came out and started talking to me yesterday as well. And because meanwhile, back at the ranch, I got diagnosed with liver cancer, and yeah. But I want to see my documentation. They've just told me that they haven't shown me any digital images. So I was supposed to have surgery yesterday, but I canceled it because I want to see proof.
Okay.
They have posted, by the way, all my financial and all of my medical records online. These people in Texas. That's a violation of my constitutional rights. And I know this, but I'm terrified to report it because they threaten me every day. I'm terrified.
Well, be safe out there, okay?
Thank you.
Please, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.